In this week's gospel, Jesus walks on water. This event takes place immediately on the heels of him multiplying loaves and fishes, which we heard last week. And he sends the disciples across this water. He goes up on the mountain and prays by himself, and then decides he's just going to walk across the surface of the lake to get to the boat. There's lots of cool takeaways from this event. Peter actually walks on water, so with Jesus' help, we can actually do the physically impossible. There's this awesome line about as soon as he's in the boat, the storm dies down and they get to where they're going. So when you bring Jesus into your boat, things calm down a little bit, or at least start to make some more sense, and you can get where you're going. What I think is most interesting, at least this time as I read this gospel, is the disciples' response to Jesus when they first see him. It says they were terrified, and this actually turns out to be a pretty common reaction to Jesus in the Gospels that we often lose sight of because we're very comfortable and familiar with Jesus in the Gospels, right? They're terrified. He's walking across the water, and they're like, "We don't know what to do with this." One author, Peter Crave, talks about this as the Jesus shock, right? People's common reaction to Jesus is shock. They're in awe, they're amazed, they can't believe what they're seeing, what they're hearing, what he's doing. And this is the disciples in the boat. They're terrified. And so it begs the question for us as we search our own hearts this week. Are we ever terrified by Jesus? Are we ever shocked by anything that he does? Is there any wow factor in him? Or is he just so familiar and so plasticized that we're not impressed by anything that he does? We need to make some room in our hearts to let Jesus shock us and even terrify us in the best way possible sometimes, because that's who he is. He is this shockingly amazing, awesome God that wants to get into our lives and walk across the water in the midst of our storms and shock us a little bit. So we need to make room in our hearts for that.